This video is sponsored by Grammarly. Hello YouTube fam, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Tina and I make videos on lifestyle, home, and DIY projects every single week. I'm super excited for today's video because we're doing some DIY IKEA hacks, and these are some of my favorites to do because they're always so easy, simple, and they always look amazing in the end. All of these projects are really great because they are functional and organizational pieces that you can use in your home, including your office, and I thought this was perfect because today's video is sponsored by Grammarly. And Grammarly is actually a tool that I use pretty much every day in my day job, so I was really happy when they reached out to me, but I will talk more about them later on in the video. Alright, so enough blabbing from me, let's go ahead and get started. Hello from VoiceOver Tina. We're starting this first project with the Sortso Rug, which I think that's how it's pronounced. Please correct me if I'm wrong. This rug is super popular to DIY because it's only 3 doll hairs and 99 cents. So I'm just gonna fold it in half and do my best to iron out the creases in the rug, and since this is 100% cotton, I ended up turning my iron all the way up and then went over it several times. Next, I'm using a 1/2 inch dowel rod, and this is what we're going to use to hang it up, so I'm just going to leave a couple of inches on both sides and measure where I want to make my cut. So I just used my little handy dandy hacksaw with a piece of wood underneath, and this cut through it perfectly. I honestly can't believe how long this Dollar Tree hacksaw has lasted me. I actually just got a miter saw and I've been practicing small projects with it, so that would also work great for this project. But since it was already nighttime, I didn't want to make more noise than I already do making DIYs on my balcony, so I was being a nice neighbor and used my hacksaw inside. And to finish this off, I'm just going to sand both ends of the rod for a smooth finish. Now to create our faux corkboard, I'm going to go ahead and use a piece of cardboard to sandwich it in between the 2 layers of the rug. The biggest piece of cardboard that I can find was actually a little bit smaller than my rug, but it worked totally fine, and I'm just hot gluing it to the rug, making sure that I secured it in place. You can also use thin pieces of corkboard, which I'll have linked down below. I wanted to save the ones in my stash for another project, so I chose to reuse the corkboard in my recycling bin, and this is a great way to upcycle something that you already had for free at home. This is already looking pretty great with the fringe at the bottom, but of course I wanted it to be just as decorative as it is functional, so I'm going to go ahead and paint an African mudcloth design to the rug. So I loosely sketched this out with pencil first, and the lines on the rug are going to be great to use as a guide here. Then with this paint color called Cinnamon by Folk Art, I'm going to go ahead and just paint right onto the rug with a thin paintbrush. So as I'm painting, I wanted to make sure that I gave a little bit of background on African mudcloth. So I've painted this design before, and I learned that it hails from Northern Africa, and it is a local tradition of hand-woven fabric. The design that we're emulating in this project is traditionally painted with a special kind of mud, and the mud actually ferments over seasons, giving us that rich color, and the designs themselves have a special meaning that is passed through generations. And today these patterns are pretty popular within Western design for its bold graphic look. I actually got the idea for this DIY project from an Instagram post that I saw from H&M Home. They basically hung a large rug on the wall and used it as a pin board, and I just thought this was brilliant. I knew that this IKEA rug was just going to be perfect for this project, and I have used this rug before to create an Urban Outfitters inspired tapestry, and I still love it today. Using a pattern for this project is going to be perfect just because it's going to be covered with pins, so as it's getting filled up you can still see the pattern peeking through underneath, but of course you can go ahead and put any design you'd like or even leave it plain. So I'm just going to let that dry overnight, and all you need to do is add a piece of string to the dowel and your inspiration board is ready for use. This DIY is such a fun way to display and organize items in your office or your bedroom. I can totally see this being used in so many spaces since it's very customizable and serves as a cute decor piece that is also super functional. I'm just really happy with how this piece came out, and I hope it sparks some inspo on how you can create beautiful things to organize your home. I hope you're enjoying the video so far. Before we move on to the next project, I wanted to talk about today's video sponsor, Grammarly. I was actually really excited when they reached out to me because I used Grammarly when I was a student and I still use it today as a working professional. So it's a really helpful tool that everyone can use, and if you're not already familiar with Grammarly, it is a digital writing assistant. You can download it for free as a browser extension, and the free version is really great for basic grammar and spelling suggestions. And if you download to the premium version, it provides you much more in-depth writing feedback, which is great for people like me who write a lot of emails, or for creators and freelancers that wear multiple hats to communicate with dozens of people every day. I'm not sure if you guys know this about me, but I actually write a lot of marketing copy for my day job, so Grammarly has been really awesome in suggesting vocabulary which replaces boring words with more exciting ones to catch my audience's attention. And another tool that I love is their clarity suggestions. It cuts down unnecessary words to create concise sentences. And if you're a student or a recent grad, I think one of the most useful tools is their tone detector. It checks your emails and all of your writings to ensure that you sound professional and positive, which was a tool that I definitely used when I was job searching and talking to potential employers. If you're interested in checking out Grammarly for yourself, make sure that you go to grammarly.com/TinaLay to sign up for a free account and get 20% off of a Grammarly premium account today. Alright, I hope you guys check them out, and let's jump into the next project. For our next project, we're going to give this basic basket a little upgrade. This is the GEGGA basket from IKEA, and it comes in 2 sizes, and I have the smaller one, which is about 1 foot tall. So I'm just taking some masking tape and I'm gonna map out a V shape for our design, and you can definitely do any design that you want for this project, but I'm just keeping it super simple. Then with the marker, I'm just gonna go ahead and mark off the top for each side of the V as a guide. Now with a water-soluble fabric marker, I'm gonna dot along the masking tape. Since this is a rope basket, the gaps in between each row of rope is where we're gonna string our design through, so that's exactly where I'm marking each dot. So now I'm just gonna remove the tape, and you can barely see the dots on camera, but I promise you guys they're there. For my design, I wanted to use this beautiful mustard yellow yarn, but feel free to use whatever color you'd like. And I'm just cutting out long pieces of this yarn, and this is gonna be about double the height of our basket. And you just wanna cut out as many pieces as you dotted for your design, and I needed about 44 of them. So now I had to figure out how to create a cow hitch knot with the yarn around each row of rope. So I'm going to try my best to explain the technique that I came up with, but feel free to watch this a couple of times to get it right. To start, I folded my strand of yarn in half and I strung that through my needle about halfway through. Then with my needle, I'm going to pierce that through where we marked our first dot of the design, and I'm only going to pull through the top of the loop all the way through and leaving the 2 ends out. Then from the back side, I'm going to move 1 row down, and I'm basically just going to come through the front with the top of the loop and pulling it all the way through. So now we have both ends of the yarn looped around our rope, and we're basically just going to create a cow hitch knot. So I'm opening the loop and pulling the 2 ends all the way through. So now we have our first piece of fringe on the basket, and I'm basically going to repeat this process with each row using the guide. And honestly, doing this on my table was a lot harder than if I were to just have the basket upright. It's a lot easier to see where I'm going when I come through with the needle on the back side, so I would definitely recommend that you guys do this with the basket standing upright, but of course I wanted to show you guys the design, so it's gonna be on my table. And this is definitely one of those projects that gets really repetitive really quickly, but the time does pass by pretty quickly depending on your design. And of course, I had Selling Sunset in the background, and I'm glad that you guys said that you love that show too. All the drama on the show is fun to watch, but now that I live in LA, it's super interesting to me to get a peek inside of these gorgeous homes that I probably pass by all the time. Also, I want to mention that this technique is what I found worked best for me with what I already had at home, but I think there's probably an easier way to do this if you have a tiny crochet hook. So if you have any helpful tips, make sure that you leave them in the comments below. This is a fun idea, especially if you have existing baskets and you want to add some interest to them. And since there's no gluing involved, it's definitely something that you can easily remove and change the design if you want to switch things up later on. And if you guys don't already know, I am a basket lover. I think they're such a great organizational tool to hide unsightly items. I have a ton of baskets to hide cords, organize supplies, and even to cover my Wi-Fi box. So they are definitely some of my favorite items to use around the house to keep things nice and orderly. Alright, so here's how our design is looking, and to finish it up, I'm just going to cut the ends to create our V shape. And feel free to brush out the strands if you would like to create even more fringe, but I'm just going to leave them as is. Our upgraded basket is looking so cute and colorful. I hope you guys got some inspo from this technique to hack other IKEA baskets or some that you already have at home. The simple design just adds so much interest and can be used to organize so many items in your home. And personally, I'm probably going to use this as a waste basket because trash cans are usually not cute, but this one is perfect and I love it so much. Let me know your thoughts on today's projects. I would love to hear which one was your favorite. As always, I can't really choose one. I think they're all so cute and also very functional, and I can't wait to use them all. I'm especially excited to use that basket because I honestly need a cute trash can, and that one is just perfect. Big thank you to Grammarly for sponsoring today's video. Make sure that you check them out. It is a free service that I use every single day, so I can't recommend them enough. And if you would like to upgrade to their premium account, make sure that you check on the link down below to get 20% off. I will have all the details down there. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram if you haven't already. I post on there every single day and I can't wait to see all of your projects. So make sure that you tag me in them, and I can't wait to see some of your IKEA DIYs. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe down below for new videos every single week. And that's it for me today. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Stay inspired and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!